Okay, Adrian, fantastic class. Excellent work. Excellent work. Um, I liked everything that you did. You have a really firm knowledge on the major scales, pentatonic scales, the modes, positions up and down the fretboard. That's excellent. Good stuff. Um, what we're going to concentrate on now is basically how to use those shapes and stuff, those patterns, to express your ideas. You know, um, even the way you were playing your solos, it really sounds like you're really getting the general idea of how this is supposed to work. But I just want to kind of go into some things that we went through today in the class. The call and response that we used to do, that we're still going to be doing, like the me to you, just kind of I play something, you play something back. We now have it so that you practice amongst yourself, and the interaction is going to take place between the skills that you know within a given key. So I'll start off with like the G major, the key of G major, where you're playing like a G major scale. That's going to interact with an E natural minor, an E pentatonic, E harmonic minor. You can put an E diminished in there, whole tone scale if you want. All right, so without further ado, it would be. Right, then. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on there. Big conversation, different different personalities, like you said. That was a really good point that you made. It sounds like a lot of different personalities, and that's basically what it is. And the idea that I responded to you with from when you said that was those personalities. It sounds that way when you're listening to it and you're playing it, but keep in mind that's coming out of you. All right, so you have each one of us, we have different approaches to things, and that's what you're hearing. So we have different sides within ourselves, right? So that's what you're hearing when you do these exercises. We had the C major. If you play these slow, you're going to really hear it. Okay, and you can up the speed and you'll really hear it as well. But I think for where you are right now, um, in your practice and in your journey with this instrument, is it would you want to start off playing slow and kind of raise the ante, keep it going, and you could do moderate and then fast. But keep it slow so you could hear everything, all the little nuances. So in the key of C, we did the same kind of thing. We added the whole tone scale in there, right? So we had a whole lot of elements going on. I can do a straight C major and then go into it. So it would kind of sound like this. Okay, so you had a lot of different things in there, same kind of idea. And then you had all right. So what I just did there was that whole tone scale. I just did a half step. I just did a half step there, and I was right back into the key. Right. Play around with the whole steps, because you know it's just a matter of the degrees, right? You can end on a note and it might seem like the note is not in that scale. Guess what you just did? You hit a tension note. All you have to do is go a half step and you'll have the note that's in the scale, and you'll provide a sense of closure and resolve for the listener and for yourself, right? Because here's the other thing: when you do a whole tone scale, if I do that, I just have a half step, right? If I'm here, right, I'm still within the scale. If I hit a note that's not in that scale, that's a tension note. That's another way those tension notes come up. All right. The idea and the concept is you're gonna kind of you're converging now. All the roads are converging. You're gonna understand what each of these things mean, what the chromatic scale actually does, and when to use that chromatic scale, and what that is. Each of those notes, it's all in your scale, right? Now, here's the thing. To better explain this, let's go, instead of doing a whole tone scale, all right, where I said, okay, if you end on a weird note that's not in the key of C, just go down or go up a half step and you're going to be right back into your scale, because that note that you hit is a tension note. You even get tense when you hear that it's abstract or dissonant to you. Like, it doesn't sound like it should be where you're going to end. You have to do something to make that fit. You tense up. So that's the concept of the tension note. Now, here's the thing. The best way to practice this in understanding, okay, how do we make those things fit? Or, it shouldn't be how you make it fit. How do you work with what's already there, right? And understand how it fits into what's already there. All right. So here's what I mean. You have a pentatonic scale. This is the best way to practice these things. We're going to go to the A pentatonic, the 5/8, 5/7, 5/7, 5/8. That one. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, we have that. Now, I added to that, earlier in the class, where I said, okay, instead of 5/8, we're going to do 5/8, 5/6, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. Just put a 5, 7, 8 in there too, because the sixth string is the same as the first. But, those notes, there's some tension notes in there. So we were already kind of there, and I was kind of introducing you to that concept so that I wouldn't just hit you with a chromatic scale and then it's just something that's completely foreign to what you're used to. So because we did things like that, now the idea of hitting a few more notes in there, but ending on the note that's in the scale, that will help you to understand the concept very clearly as it comes up. You can even do 3 notes, right? It doesn't have to be 4 notes. It could just be, right? So these are things that you can do. The reason I chose the pentatonic scale is if you do, let's work on the 1 string of the pentatonic. Okay, whole step from your C to the D, or your 5th fret to your 7th fret. That's a whole step. Your tension note will be on the 8th fret, right? Then you have your 9th fret, which is part of the C major scale, right? And your 9th fret would be an E, right? So next one is an F, and then you have a G. A D sharp there, which is your tension note, right? And then you have an E, right? Then there's the F, and then there's the G right there. So if I bend this note, that's going to give me a D sharp. I can also go slide that note. That's going to give me my E, right? I can do that again, and I can go to the G. I can go to the G, because some people do that. Okay, when they're playing that it's like a sliding style. When I said to approach things on a half step, you've got that there. But the thing is, in the pentatonic, you've got so many different things to do within that structure. Boom, 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 boom. The 1 string, you can do just by bending your string. Now, the reason I'm using the 1 string is this is nylon. These are nylon strings, but if I wanted to, I could really bend this string, and I would hit the E, and I would probably hit the F in there, right? I would get some of those notes in there. You have E right here on your 5th fret of your 2nd string. That same the same arrangement of notes. I'm just taking it from the E, just to show you the pentatonic has everything in it, and you could practice your chromatics in that system of playing and those ideas from your pentatonic. It's one of the best scales to work from. So on the 2nd string, we have we're going to be on our 5th fret. We're going to bend that, right? So when we're on our 5th fret of the 2nd string, we're on E. So when I bend that, I'm bending an F, right? I'm bending. That's an F. That's in the pentatonic. Because the pentatonic, that blues scale, they bend their strings. So the reason I'm showing you this is because the pentatonic, if you play around with the way that they play the guitar and the stringed instruments with blues, how it's a natural thing to bend your strings or to hit it. Do one of those, half step, the F's in there, right? You just don't know that the F is in there because you're going by the feel of that, the range of that scale, that particular pentatonic. You just kind of, right? And then you, same note. All right. So when you're doing it in different spots, in different positions of that pentatonic, you're going to eventually hear the C major scale, because you're going to see the notes that aren't listed in the A pentatonic scale. When you have your A pentatonic, you have A, C, you have D, you have E, then you have G, and you're back to A again, right? That's what they give you, but there's so many notes in between there. You're doing your major scales, the whole tone's in there, diminished is in there, harmonic, all that stuff's in there. But the way you're going to find it is by doing those slides. When you can slide the things half half steps from wherever you are, you're going to hear those notes. And each of those different scales, when you bend, when you slide into a bend, you're going to hear everything in there. All right, so pentatonic is the way to go, especially when we're working with like gypsy jazz. That's definitely a key point that you want to work with is that pentatonic. The two different ways that we played Autumn Leaves, excellent, excellent. Use this concept for the songs, for when you do your solos and things like that. Use it for your melodies too, because that's how you spicing up the melodies. All right, half step slides. Bend a little bit. Don't bend too much, but just kind of like little bends in here and there. But that depends on the type of songs you're playing as well. Okay, so having said all of that, you've got a lot of things that you could play with, but just know when to use those notes, when to apply them, and that's it, right? So, if you have any questions, leave a comment below or just send me an email. Your what you did there as far as the that one, I think that's the way it goes. I know you recorded that. Keep that and layer it with, play the rhythm and then send me something so I could hear that. It's a very good melody. All right. Thank you very much for a fantastic class, man. That was really wonderful. All right. So practice, and I'll see you on next Wednesday. All right. Thanks a lot, man. God bless.